As one of the country's top interviewers, Andrew Marr holds prominent people to account. Yet, for the last few years, he's used the courts to prevent scrutiny of his own life. Now, though, he's come clean, admitting he took out a super-injunction to suppress reports of an extra-marital affair. His admission follows a legal challenge by Private Eye editor Ian Hislop, who accused Marr of hypocrisy after writing an article on press freedom.
The difficulty is at times the private life does matter. You have to look at, say, cases like Andrew Marr's and say, can you really have a journalist going around injuncting people? I think Andrew Marr's accepted that you can't. That yes, there are limits on privacy. You shouldn't have photographers going and photographing people in their hospital beds. There's no question about that. But at the moment we have a situation where if you've got enough money, you get privacy.
Just last week, the Prime Minister weighed into the debate, expressing concern that the judiciary was introducing a privacy law by the back door.
I think a privacy law would be poor for the country. You know, this is a democratic, open country, and clearly we need to have freedom of speech. But I don't think that means that people's private lives are open season. Just because you're a successful footballer, I don't think it means that your sex life should be all over the newspapers.
With no current privacy law, judges are using the European Human Rights Act as a benchmark to determine what should or should not be published. But that legislation is contradictory. On the one hand, it stipulates that an individual should be entitled to a private family life, but it also recognises the need to protect freedom of the press. Reconciling those contradictions should be, it's argued, a job for the legislator, not the judiciary.
In criminal law, there would be no doubt that judges would never grant this kind of order. But in civil law, when we're talking about reputation, they're allowing it to occur. And I think it is really difficult to know where to draw the line.
The press have long argued that a privacy law wouldn't simply stop kiss and tell stories. More worryingly, they believe it would be used by the rich and powerful to cover up corruption. But the increasing use of injunctions by many may now have left the politicians with little choice but to re-examine the need for such a law. Mark White, Sky News.